Ferrari is currently navigating a very challenging and complicated period in its Formula One history, because the team's strategic goals and clear objectives for the remainder of the 2025 championship are still not entirely defined or publicly clarified. Meanwhile, everyone at Maranello is fully absorbed in the development and planning of the new 678 project, which represents Ferrari's highly anticipated 2026 Formula One car and a pivotal step into the next era of the sport. Amid this backdrop, rumors have started circulating, suggesting that the former Red Bull Racing Team principal, Christian Horner, could be brought in as an immediate solution to the team's current difficulties. This has naturally generated a wave of speculation among fans, journalists, and insiders, raising the question of whether such rumors should even be taken seriously or if they are simply creating unnecessary turbulence within the Ferrari community. John Elkann, the chairman of Ferrari and a key figure in the company's strategic direction, has repeatedly emphasized that he is personally invested in the team's return to victory in Formula One. The significant drop in Ferrari's stock value on Wall Street last Thursday should not be interpreted as a negative reaction to Elkann's commitment. The chairman explained that his pledge was made with the team's loyal fans in mind, those who have been patiently waiting to see Ferrari regain its competitive edge in Formula One, similar to the remarkable success the Scuderia has achieved in the world of endurance racing. He proudly highlighted the recent achievements, particularly the Le Mans victories, noting that Ferrari had secured the prestigious trophy 3 times in a row, reinforcing the company's global reputation for excellence in motorsport. Over the past decade, the Maranello brand has evolved into a highly profitable and internationally recognized cash machine within the global luxury market. Ferrari supercars have consistently achieved record sales, but the company is well aware that the margins for growth are limited and cannot sustain infinite expansion. At its most recent Capital Markets Day, Ferrari presented a more measured and gradual growth plan, signaling caution in terms of production volumes. This approach was designed to balance the company's ambition to maintain its exclusivity while avoiding overextension that could threaten the brand's high-end positioning and long-term sustainability. Regardless of the introduction of Ferrari's first electric vehicle, which is being marketed as an addition to the company's lineup, rather than a forced transition in response to broader market pressures, John Elkann had to manage an exceptionally delicate moment in the team's corporate and sporting history. This was particularly evident when the company experienced a nearly 16% decline on Wall Street, a significant setback, but one that was not entirely unforeseen by Ferrari's chief executive officer, Benedetto Vigna. In essence, Elkann and Vigna demonstrated both courage and strategic foresight in navigating this volatile period, underscoring their commitment to maintaining Ferrari's long-term vision rather than reacting impulsively to short-term market fluctuations. Amid this atmosphere of uncertainty and heightened attention from the media, the news that overshadowed both production targets and long-term financial objectives was the reported contact with Christian Horner for a potential leadership role within Ferrari's motorsport management division. The story, initially published by the German motorsport news outlet F1 Insider, rapidly circulated worldwide, capturing the imagination of fans and journalists alike. However, it quickly became clear that the report had not been verified, and the credibility of this so-called bombshell remained highly questionable. Fans of Formula One are aware that preliminary contact with Christian Horner had occurred in the past. When the British team principal was dismissed from Red Bull following a significant breakdown in relations with the Austrian holding company's leadership, sources within Maranello reportedly intervened to prevent Horner from joining Ferrari. At that time, the Scuderia wanted to avoid any potential conflicts and ensure that its own internal strategic plans were not disrupted by the sudden arrival of an external figure with a strong personality and significant influence. Since then, Christian Horner has completed a lucrative settlement agreement with his former Red Bull team, resulting in the abrupt termination of a long-term contract, reportedly worth around €80 million. Additionally, Horner successfully resolved legal proceedings related to alleged harassment claims from a former employee, which concluded with a multi-million-euro settlement. These developments have allowed Horner to plan his potential return to Formula One, fully motivated and eager to demonstrate what he can achieve in a new competitive environment. The former Red Bull team principal is clearly determined to prove his capabilities, seeking an opportunity to lead a team and leave a significant mark on the sport once again. Nevertheless, rumors suggesting that Fred Vasseur could be removed from his position as Ferrari's team principal to make way for Horner are highly implausible. As with all prominent figures in the Formula One paddock, Christian Horner is subject to a gardening leave, a contractual period during which he continues to receive payment from his former employer to prevent him from immediately transferring his knowledge and competitive insights to another team. For senior executives in Formula One, this period can extend up to a year, although it is possible that Horner could become available before the midpoint of 2026. This makes it clear that replacing Fred Vasseur with Christian Horner at this stage is not a realistic scenario. It is undeniable that Ferrari is experiencing a particularly challenging moment in Formula One. Expectations for the SF25 were high, with hopes that the car would allow the team to mount a strong second-half season recovery, secure several race victories, and successfully defend second place in the Constructors' Championship. However, the reality has been far less optimistic. Ferrari has yet to secure a single win with the SF25, which has underperformed due to significant design constraints. The car's optimal performance is only achieved at ride heights that technically render the skid block illegal under current regulations, highlighting the complexity and limitations of its engineering. As a result, Ferrari has fallen behind in the competitive hierarchy, currently projected to be the fourth strongest team, trailing behind McLaren, Mercedes, and Red Bull. The internal environment at Maranello has become increasingly strained, with tensions rising between drivers and the technical team. Drivers Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton faced criticisms for issues that are often beyond their control, and the broader team is struggling to maintain focus and direction. High-profile departures of technical staff, such as Wolf Zimmermann, the engineer who recently joined Audi, have not been counterbalanced by the recruitment of equally prominent talent. Instead, Ferrari has relied on a broad turnover of personnel, a strategy commonly observed across other top teams during periods of organizational transition. Even lesser-known figures have left Ferrari's racing department, hoping to gain temporary recognition by sharing their exits on social media or generating attention through sensationalized news coverage. Amid this constant flux, it is easy to forget that Ferrari remains a formidable organization with over 1,500 employees, each playing a critical role in the team's long-term strategy. Unlike in the past, the company's operations can no longer be influenced by short-term moods or reactive decision-making. Fred Vasseur, after months of uncertainty, had his contract renewed as team principal at the end of July, demonstrating the organization's commitment to stability and continuity. The idea that he could be dismissed after only a few months is simply implausible. What Ferrari currently lacks is clear and transparent communication regarding the team's concrete objectives for the remainder of the 2025 championship. It is evident that the efforts of the entire technical and operational staff are now focused entirely on the 678 project, Ferrari's 2026 car, which is designed to position the Scuderia at the forefront of the sport in the new era of Formula One. Fred Vasseur and his technical team, under the guidance of technical director Loic Serra, now have the opportunity to demonstrate their capabilities with a vehicle that represents the future of the team. The results of the 678 will ultimately determine whether the confidence placed in this staff by John Elkann and Ferrari management is justified, as measured by victories and championship competitiveness. Elkann himself has previously indicated that 2026 is the year when Ferrari is expected to contend seriously for a world championship title. Ferrari's factory in Maranello is fully equipped with cutting-edge facilities and resources necessary to compete at the highest level. Lewis Hamilton, upon his arrival at Ferrari, reportedly expressed admiration for the quality and sophistication of the team's internal infrastructure. If the team does not succeed, it will likely be due to personnel or organizational issues, rather than a lack of resources. Fred Vasseur has time to implement his strategic vision. If the anticipated results are not achieved at the start of the 2026 European season, the team may undergo a significant restructuring, potentially extending far beyond the role of team principal. Could Christian Horner play a role in such a potential reorganization? It is possible, but it must be remembered that the British manager has ambitions to re-enter Formula One with a clearly defined role and substantial influence, similar to Toto Wolff's position at Mercedes. Wolff owns a 33% stake in the Mercedes Formula One team alongside Ineos and the automaker, while Adrian Newey joined Aston Martin after receiving a significant stake in the Silverstone-based team from Lawrence Stroll. Such arrangements demonstrate that Horner's aspirations to hold both management and ownership influence in a team are not unprecedented within the Formula One ecosystem. Could Ferrari pursue a similar approach? Reports suggest that previous negotiations with Adrian Newey stalled due to considerations beyond technical matters, including potential ownership and control structures. Horner appears to be interested in leading a consortium capable of replicating the Red Bull Racing miracle, when the energy drink team won multiple world championships against technically superior teams, and is now preparing to challenge major manufacturers while also expanding into power unit development. Christian Horner is likely to find his path back into Formula One eventually, while Ferrari must focus on regaining the pride and competitive spirit that currently appear diminished. John Elkann has demonstrated personal commitment by betting on Ferrari's endurance racing program, yielding tangible success. Now, it is Formula One's turn. Ferrari fans, including millions of loyal supporters worldwide, are eagerly awaiting results and tangible progress on the track, hoping to see the Scuderia restore its former glory in the premier motorsport category.